Hey, this is Max here, and in this tutorial I will show you how to create a survey inside ManyChat and how you can automatically store all the answers to that survey into a Google Sheet. So let's just dive right in. So this is the little example flow that I created. I will show you in a bit how this works, but first you need to do two things. So first of all, you need to create a new Google Sheet. And inside this Google Sheet, you need to add your Google column titles. So these titles are going to allow us to automatically store data inside this Google Sheet in each column separately. So that's really handy. So what I did is we added the ManyChat ID, full name, email address, and then answer 1 till 5, because the survey that I created has 5 questions. Now then the next thing that you need to do is you need to go over to settings, to custom fields, and you need to create a new custom field called response. And this should be a text custom field. All right, so I already created it, so I will not do it again. And then we are going to dive into our flow. So this is the flow. We first ask like if someone wants to take part, then we have all the questions, and then we close the survey. So it works like this. We first ask, can I ask you a few questions so I can create better content for you? If they say, sure, no problem, then we answer with okay. And then we give them a little explanation that they should try to answer each question in one sentence, because then we can automatically store it inside a Google Sheet. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit more tricky. Now, then automatically after that, you see here that we continue to another step, and then we automatically continue to an action. And inside this action, we add the subscriber to a Google Sheet. So I will delete this one, and then we're going to do it again from scratch so that you can see how that works. So then you go down, go to Google Sheet Actions, click it, and then we're going to insert a new row. Then you need to select your spreadsheet. Then you need to select your worksheet inside that spreadsheet. So you see here, survey 1, that is this. So if you want, also really handy, you can also add multiple worksheets basically, so that you can have multiple surveys inside one Google Sheet. It's just handy to keep things organized maybe. And then you see here that our Google column titles already automatically show up. So we have our ManyChat ID, full name, email address, and then answer 1 till 5. So that's everything over here, right? So again, that's why it's really important that this is in the first row, because otherwise this would not work. And then we want to add ManyChat data to the first 3. So here you type user ID. Then here we're going to add their full name and then their email address. And then these we leave blank. We will add those one by one when they answer each question. So then we click save. So what happens now, someone starts the survey and then their user ID, their name and their email address are added to the Google Sheet. Now then we have question 1. So just like a simple example here, I would for example ask, what is your favorite kind of fruit? Now, what is important is that you use a user input for this, because then we can store the user input into a custom field. So you see here that we have the question and then the reply type is set to text. And then you see here that we save the response to a custom field called response. So this is the custom field we just created. Then we automatically continue to another action. And then inside this action, we have another Google Sheet action. So I'm going to delete that, and then we're going to create that one again. So select this, and then do not click insert row, but update row. Then we select our spreadsheet again, our worksheet again, and then it will ask, okay, what do you want us to look up? Now we want to look up the ManyChat ID, and then, okay, what do you want to use to compare that with? So what is the lookup value? So the lookup value is the user ID. We do that with the user ID because the user ID is always unique. If you would do it with their name, then maybe you have subscribers with like similar names. So here we click user ID, and then you see again that we get the Google column titles. And what you want to do now is you only want to fill in this one, and then we're going to store the value of the response custom field into answer 1. And then we click save. So then when they answer this question, the response will automatically be added to the response custom field. And then inside the Google Sheet action, we store the value of that custom field into answer 1. Now, then we have our second question. Now, would you rather, I don't know, jump or dive? And then we store the answer into the response custom field again. And then we have a similar action. And then you see also here that we have our spreadsheet, worksheet, lookup column is again all the same. So ManyChat ID, user ID, and then we store the response custom field into answer 2. So you really have to double check that you do this right. Now then we have question 3, and you will see that this is all the same. So this is a multiple choice user input, so people can just click like bubbles, and then the data will be stored into the response custom field. And then you will see that we automatically continue to another action. Inside this action, we just do the same thing again. You see here, manage your data, response custom field, we store the data into answer 3. Now, and so on and so on. Here, these are all the same. We do that again and again and again. So what I want to do is I want to publish this, and then I want to preview this in Messenger to show you what this looks like. So here it says, hey Max, can I ask you a few questions? Sure, no problem. And then you see the little explanation, and then we get question 1. What is your favorite kind of, now I would just say here, for example, bananas. And then when we go over to our Google Sheet, you see that this was already added in the beginning, and now bananas is added. Now then, would you rather, now I would say here, jump, for example, and then when we go over to our Google Sheet, you see that jump is added. Now here I would click 8, and then you see that 8 is added. Now, how would you describe your business in one sentence? I sell online courses about marketing. And then again here it automatically adds it. Do you like yes. And then you see here that we have yes. So this is how you create that survey. So it's pretty cool, right? It's actually not too hard. So you just create your Google Sheet, you create your response custom field, and then you create like a bunch of questions where you use user inputs to store their answers into the response custom field, and then actions to automatically add that data to your custom field. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that it is helpful. If you want this little flow that I created, I will make sure to link to it in the description box below. The next tutorial is also going to be really cool. It's about how you can create a quiz inside ManyChat. So it's a little bit similar, but then slightly different. So also be sure to check that one out. You see it here on screen right now. Alright, if you enjoyed this tutorial, give it a little thumbs up and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more tutorials like this.